Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon to everyone. First of all, on behalf of CIS and MACC, I would like to thank everyone watching on ARCHIDEX Online, ARCHIDEX Facebook and YouTube channel for taking the time to be with us today. Welcome to the third out of sixth session in CLEANExpo and FACIMEX webinar entitled Changing Landscape of Cleaning, Green Technology and Automation. The webinar today introduces CLEANExpo and FACIMEX, which will be held concurrently with ARCHIDEX Special Edition 2020 from 16 to 19 December 2020 at the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, Malaysia. As a highlight at ARCHIDEX, the region's leading architecture business event since 2000, CLEANExpo and FACIMEX will be able to ride on ARCHIDEX strength and numbers. ARCHIDEX 2019 attracted 36,300 visitors from 73 countries, accounting for almost 2,000 buyers and over 1.1 billion in business transactions. CLEANExpo, an inaugural showcase, will present products and services related to cleaning, sanitation, hygiene, and environmental care, while FACIMEX will focus on facilities, building, and preventive maintenance. With us today, we have three panelists who will outline the industry moving forward post-pandemic and to identify how your cleaning and maintenance business can contribute efficiently, how the cleaning business will change in this era, and if you are moving in the right direction for your business success. They are, number one, Mr. Danny Lim, Chief Executive Officer at MACC Hygiene Sdn Bhd, a hygiene, sanitation, and cleaning products and equipment provider and trainer from Malaysia with offices across the world. Number two, we have Mr. Pavi, Chairman of Technical Committee of Asset Facility at Department of Standards Malaysia and CEO Maxwell CFM International Sdn Bhd. The Department of Standards is the national standard accreditation body that develops standards for implementation at various industries here in Malaysia. And the third speaker, Mr. Ismail Tim Abdullah, is the head of sales at Karcher Malaysia, headquartered in Germany. Karcher is one of the market leaders in the industry with 127 companies across 72 countries. And this session is moderated by me, Nik Hussein bin Datuk Ni Yusof. I am the Executive Secretary of Malaysian Association of Cleaning Contractors. Before we proceed further, here is a brief outline of the webinar. Questions will be posed to each panelist and each will take turns to answer the questions. Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to post your question to the live chat and we'll address them at the end of the webinar. We apologize in advance if we are unable to address all your questions. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the first round of questions with our first panelist. Good morning, Mr. Danny.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nick.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am fine. I'm very good. Great. Yes, Mr. Danny, in your opinion and experience in serving clients regionally, can you tell us how do we implement green technology in order to improve or upgrade conventional cleaning that can give higher impact to the cleaning industry?
Thank you, Mr. Nick. Well, we can see the world of green technology in the cleaning industry has grown and is fast improving. What is more remarkable is the companies with green solutions have also improved financial efficiency as compared to conventional cleaning that does not implement green applications. The cost to start implement green solutions might be slightly more expensive initially, but the long-term benefits are more reasonable for the overall business, while effectiveness of cleaning and is environmental friendly too. Nowadays, there are many green solutions that can help to reduce the usage of detergents, Examples, wiping and mopping using cotton material need to consume more detergent compared using microfibers material, which can be reduced of usage of detergents up to 70%. Second example, scrubbing of a floor with conventional method, you need high alkaline detergents, but with the green technology, you just need to use water and diamond pads to remove dirty surfaces and create a clean and shining floor. Third example, many cleaners like to use acetic detergents to clean their toilet stain marks, but with the green technology, people are using steam machines to get rid of the dirt, bacteria, and germs without usage of detergents. Thank you, Mr. Nick.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Danny. Let's bring to our second panelist. Good afternoon, Mr. Pavi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nick, and good afternoon
Okay.
to all the viewers, wherever you are.
Okay, Mr. Pavi. First and foremost, we would like to officially thank Standards Malaysia for confirming to be a supporting organization to CLEANExpo and FACIMEX. Moving on, as the CEO of prominent facilities management company, Asia, and with a sister company in the United Kingdom, in your opinion, why do you think adopting green technology in facilities management is a progressive approach in the coming year? Okay,
Thank you,
over to
Mr.
you.
Nick. Thank you, Mr. Nick. The involvement of technology cannot be disregarded in facility management. It is embedded in the practice from various levels, right from the decision-making level down to the operation level. With the emerging of green buildings throughout the world, that is with the guidance of Green Building Index and LEED certification, the application of green technology will be much more greater in today's environment. And we can also see there are many emerging new cities that is inclining towards the implementation of green cities with green buildings and green technologies. Today, organization are progressing in demonstrating concern towards environment. They adopt environmentally friendly practices, including investing in green technologies such as lightings in our building, power generation, recycling, and cleanings, and so on. So I'm certain that with the support from local and international government bodies and NGOs, environmentally friendly initiatives will be rewarded through incentives, recognition for those organizations that are embarking in this sustainable practice. Now, one can surely learn, I believe that one can surely learn a lot by visiting CLEANExpo and FACIMEX, whereby you can at least view all the technologies that's possible and also consider in adopting those new technologies in your work environment. Over to you, Mr. Nick. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Pavi. On to our third panelist. Assalamualaikum, Mr. Ismail.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
I'm fine, great. As culture is an industry leader across the world, is your opinion, will automation leave traditional cleaners out of a job?
Thank you for that question, and I'll reply now. Absolutely not. We at culture have the opinion that cleaners are as relevant today as they've always have been. And in fact, the introduction of automation alongside traditional cleaning methods will only enhance and make the role of cleaning throughout the country more important. In Malaysia, automation of the cleaning industry would enable companies to raise standards of cleanliness throughout the commercial sector. They also enable workers to clean in a much quicker and efficient way for larger areas. Cleaners are still more relevant than they ever have been, and they can clean those areas which machines cannot reach or venture into. At the same time, cleaners are required to operate these machines daily. For robotics in the cleaning industry, yes, several countries are moving this way very aggressively, but in an office environment, a busy shopping mall, or an indoor car park, they are not yet an option in Malaysia, Nick.
Before we go to the second round of questions, I would like to recap what our three panelists have said. Mr. Danny has told us that green technology is fast-moving due to improved financial efficiency in the long run, effective cleaning and market cleaning, and environmentally friendly. They give example of green solution like using microfiber, using auto scrubber, and steam cleaning. And Mr. Bavi said, well, FM welcome advancement in cleaning and maintenance provided by clean technology, and hope the authorities would reward through provision of incentive and recognition of involvement in technology. And finally, Mr. Ismail just said just now, automation will not replace cleaners. They won't be relevant because machine will assist cleaners to clean faster, efficiently, and cleaner is required to operate the machine. Even though in Malaysia, the automation is still not readily yet. Okay, now for our of questions, we go back to our first panelist, Mr. Danny.
Hi, Jenny.
Yeah, welcome again.
Thank you.
As the leader of IMACC and having been in the industry for so long, in your opinion, what are the challenges faced by suppliers and customers to implement green technology? Also, can you please suggest to us how can we encourage the industry players to use cleaning detergents that are environmentally friendly? Over to you, Mr. Danny.
Thank you, Mr. Nick, to raise out this issue. Well, it's a challenge for IMACC Hygiene as a supplier to persuade all, especially cleaning contractors, to start implementing green technology. This is mainly due to the cost and budgeting, as mentioned earlier. In this scenario, the property procurement division and management also need to play a role in keeping or helping us to include green solutions in their tender requirements. But we know it's difficult to avoid the high usage of detergents among cleaning contractors. But there are still other ways to help them to choose the right detergent for each of their cleaning tasks. There are a few important criteria that should be considered by user or cleaning contractors before choose the right detergents, which they must be comply the safety data sheet, which is updated to DOSH compliance, provide technical bulletin and training on how to handle the detergent safely. And the third will be, it must be biodegradable or food grade detergent that is safe to the environment. At this pandemic era, contactless cleaning is a must to help to reduce the risk in spreading the virus more. So automation will indeed protect the cleaning staff and also be more effective in the sanitizing and deep cleaning process. For this kind of technology solution and more, please do visit at the upcoming CLEANExpo and FACIMEX in December 2020 at Kuala Lumpur Convention Center. Thank you, Mr. Nick.
Okay, thank you again, Mr. Danny. Moving on to our second panelist, Mr. Pavi. Hi, Mr. Pavi.
Hello, welcome back, Mr. Nick.
Okay, same to you. In your opinion, does the facility management standard support the implementation of green technology?
The facility management standard, which is known as ISO 41000, it's a very unique standard designed for FM organizations. When I mention about FM organizations, it can be FM organization in a client side or even on a service provider's perspective. So the standard does not support directly the use of green technology. However, through the clause of continuous improvement, yes, it encourages the management to look into possibilities of improvising their workplace, improvising the performance of the building, and green technology is one of the ways that can support to improvise your workplace. So those who are practicing ISO 41001 environmental management could mean it's an opportunity for them to demonstrate progressive approach in utilizing green technologies in their facility operation by minimizing environmental impacts and costs. So with the standard in place, one can demonstrate the benefits and also the impact of green technology by implementing towards sustainable management practices that could lead to global benchmarking. So for on an FM consultant's perspective, there are many organizations that are exploring the possibilities of going green in many activities related to building management these days. It is just a matter of time that this is highly in demand and will be made a requirement by the client. So for green technology providers, green service providers, producers like MACC, it's a matter of time when the client decides that, okay, we will include this into our specification for better environmental practice, then there is a way forward to this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pavi. Next, let's bring to our third panelist, Mr. Ismail.
Hi.
Hi again. I'm Mr. Ismail. As
Hey.
one of the pioneers in building machine and equipment for the industry, what are the benefits of automation in cleaning?
Okay, thank you for that question, Enchik Nick. So basically, after the initial investment, the cost savings become more apparent over time. Improved operational efficiency and productivity means that larger areas can be cleaned in a faster, more cost-saving manner. For robotics, places such as shopping malls, airports, hospitals can be cleaned overnight by machines so that early the next morning, the human workforce can focus on those areas which are inaccessible by the automated machines. Cost savings over time in salaries, cleaning materials, and such balances out the initial investment of buying into automation and machines. With automation comes a greater increase in customer service and monitoring. Our machines at Karcher help cleaning contractors and service providers to show the machine's routes, operating hours, and such through geofencing. Lastly, with the introduction of automation, not only does it mean our cleaners are safer, as machines can clean in those places which are not safe, but also means there is less tedious work for cleaners. A huge factory floor can be cleaned in minutes rather than hours, especially during this pandemic era where cleaners and facility managers are at the frontliners in our war against COVID-19. Thank you, Enchik Nick.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. Okay, before we go to the third and final round of the questions, I would like to recap what on the second round of questions by our panelists. Mr. Daniel said that it is a challenge to persuade cleaning contractors to implement green technology due to its initial high cost, unless the property procurement department or building management make it a requirement in their tender specification requirement. For example, it needs the usage of green technology, which like compliance detergent for cleaning and contactless cleaning via automation. And Mr. Pavi also said that FM supports initiatives to implement green technology towards sustainable management practices and leading to global benchmarking. And finally, Mr. Ismail, I said automation in cleaning has many benefits that improve operational efficiency and productivity, cost saving in the long run, increase customer service, and safer and easier for the cleaners. Okay, then for the third and final round, let's bring our first panelist once more, Mr. Danny. Hi, Mr.
Hi.
Danny.
Hi.
Okay, since we have quite a diverse group of listeners from various industries, what is IMAC's suggestion to the government or commercial building maintenance experts to maintain and clean the external areas of their buildings by using green technology and automation?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nick, for good questions. Let's take an example of a common issue on sweeping in Putrajaya and Cyberjaya area. Where there are more landscaped, this result in a lot of rubbish or dry leaves in the corridors and around the buildings. As we know, 3 people are needed to accomplish this task, whereby one person going to sweep, one person going to collect the rubbish and plants or into the plastic bags, and one person collect all the rubbish bags. So the impact of this cleaning method is that it will bring inconsistent results, increase fatigue, dust will pollute the air, where the air inhaled by the cleaners becomes unsafe. So the solution to overcome this technical issue and at the same time to manage the level of the air pollutions is using a battery operated ride-on sweeper. There's an eco-friendly, no carbon dioxide release, is more effective in cleaning surfaces. It can sweep and collect rubbish with a large hopper and which operated by only one person at car parks, outdoor corridors, and driveways. This way, we reduce fatigue, save time, save costs, and reduce the impact of pollution to the environment. Additionally, cleaning contractors can expand their business further with minimize of manpower to contribute effectively to the task on hand. Thank you, Mr. Nick.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Danny. Back to our second panelist for today, Mr. Pavi.
Hello, Mr. Nick.
I,
We meet again.
yes, again. In your point of view of being involved in the development of national standard for facility management, how do you see the future of cleaning industry going to be in Malaysia?
Thanks,
Yeah,
Mr. Nick.
over to you, Mr. Pavi.
Thank you about it. Today we see cleaning services is done very much traditionally. We are slowly moving into utilizing of technology into our practice, but the future will be driven by professionalism and technology. This is what I see. Perhaps in the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, it'll be a profession that people are able to deliver with the highest value to the client and also with the level of professionalism that is expected. It will be a profession where people with basic education and a professional qualification will be absorbed into the industry. I foresee associations like MACC coming up with syllabus that is made suitable to educate the cleaners about the cleaning processes, type of materials, health and safety related to cleaning, and so on. So cleaning will become a skill-based service supported with decent salary. Now, today, many service providers invest in equipments, machine, chemical technologies to support the operation of building. In the future, or perhaps in the nearest future, the use of IoT technology, which is Internet of Things with sensors and etc., will already be adopted into the cleaning industry to further enhance performance proactively and reach a greater client satisfaction. So finally, FM organizations or FM companies will eventually look for those who follow this trend and not just, you can see green technology and automation in practically every industry. So this I'd say it's inevitable. It is best to be prepared from now as pioneers, so we can ensure that one day we'll be at the forefront of this cleaning industry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pavi. Moving to our third panelist for today, Mr. Ismail.
Hi, Enchiknek.
Yeah, hi. I'm sure you have been in Malaysia for quite some time. Based on your experience here, what do you see are the main barriers to automation in Malaysia?
Thank you for that question, Enchiknek. So one word answer would be mindset. Malaysia still firmly believes that seeing is believing. When we see an airport with 30 cleaners standing or walking around, then the assumption is that that airport is being cleaned, and it is clean. You go to an airport toilet and you have 2 cleaners wiping a sink, the assumption is that is cleaned. Many companies are still requesting quotations from contractors in terms of labor or man hours and not by specific specifications or tasks. A greater cleanliness recognition is needed with an enforced and not voluntary national standard to achieve this across the board. The cleanliness levels seen in a private 5-star hospital should be replicated at an R&R toilet, a government school, or even a fast food chain toilet. Sadly, this is not the case at the moment. A national training academy with a national training standard awarded to cleaners would raise the standards across the board. This, along with a salary to match for the hard work and effort put in by these frontliners, will revolutionize the industry. Many would argue, with the increase in labor cost, the salary increase, for example, this would not be possible. But this is where automation comes in hand with a reduced labor force who are highly trained, monitored, and have a repurposed approach, along with these machines, can increase cleanliness levels greatly and efficiently. The overall cleaning cost would remain the same. I believe this can be achieved with the launch of MACC's My Clean campaign and also be ironed out at MACC's Focus Forum at CLEANExpo and FACIMEX in December 2020 at KLCC. Thank you, Enchiknek.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. That's the end of our third session of the questions. And before I go further, I would like to recap what the 3 panelists have mentioned, spoke about on the issue. Mr. Danny suggests using auto sweeper to solve the technical issues related to cleaning of external areas externally through the normal cleaning. For example, eco-friendly battery-operated scrubber sweeper, no carbon dioxide, sweep more efficiently and reduce fatigue to cleaners, save time and cost. Mr. Pavi said FMC for the future of cleaning industry as driven by professionalism and technology, skilled workers with sufficient use of on the internet line and OT, machinery and chemical technologies that can enhance performance and give greater client satisfaction. And Mr. Ismail just said the main barriers to automation are only 2. One is the mindset. Number 2 is the recognition of the cleanliness. Okay, that sum up for the third round of question. Ladies and gentlemen, towards this direction, MACC is currently working on a My Clean campaign and pandemic prevention campaign through the exhibition by establishing a national cleaning council that will indeed further gather the players of the industry, government, and public, and also the operators of public places together towards ensuring high standards in sanitation and hygiene in Malaysia and potentially the region. Ladies and gentlemen, we have heard the experience shared by our panelists in moving forward post-pandemic and tips for your business success in this critical era. It is time for us to hear from our viewers who may need clarification or even suggestion with regards to the issues discussed by our panel of speakers, if there are any. So I observe there are a few questions now. The first question by Mr. Sunan Kudus. I have a question for Jabatan Standard. Do you have plan to make cleaning service as one of the audit criteria in GBI index? I think Mr. Pavi is the right person to reply this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Nick, and thanks to Sunan Kudus. That is a very tricky question indeed, because GBI and Standards Department are two different organizations. Green Building with GBI certification are governed by their own set of rules. So Standard Department will not have any influence on that matter, unless if there is a request or if there is a stakeholder hearing session. Perhaps we could throw this idea to GBI and say, hey guys, why don't you look into the cleaning perspective? Because green building is just not limited to energy efficiency and also other practices which is related to that. So I think that's my reply to the question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pavi. I'm afraid the second question also is going to be answered by you.
Oh dear, am I
Come
famous?
from Mr. Garnison. The question is, the drone technology can be adopted for FM support in providing services for building inspection. What do you think?
I think spot on, Mr. Ganesan. Yes, the drone technology can be used to support FM operation. In the present, you can see some of specialist services like for testing and commissioning of buildings. They use green drone to capture images or visual image from locations, especially on the rooftop and so on, to give a better view for the surveyor, for the building surveyor. So would it be used occasionally? I'm not sure about that, but it depends on how the client wants at the end of the day.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Pavi. I guess there are the only two questions that we have now. If can we have more questions from the viewers? Our three panelists are eager to reply or to answer all your questions regarding the new landscape in cleaning. Okay. Are we having any more questions from the viewers? Yeah, there's a question for IMAX. What is the impact of green technology to our Malaysia's lifestyle? Okay, Mr. Danny.
I think the green technology for the lifestyle is to reduce first, it's very important to reduce the carbon emissions. And then, of course, we need to consider about the consume of the water. reduce the waste, of course, and we have to make sure that whatever green technology that we taking care must be also reduce using of the energy. Also, this will make the cleaning technology to be more efficient.
Okay. Okay, the question just asked was by Naila. Okay, there's another question. And again, it's directed to Mr. Pavi. Is there any new SOP of FM standard in handling cleaning, especially during this severe pandemic time? Safe, secure, and cost saving.
Thanks, Janik. Hi, Saiful. To answer your question, there is no specific SOP developed for managing the current situation. However, at the ISO level, we are developing a guideline on how to develop building or workplace resilience. So if you are looking for specifically SOP, my answer is no, but there are many best practices available in the industry, even within Malaysia for that matter, where organizations have taken effective methods to combat this pandemic situation. So perhaps you could get in touch with some of your colleagues, or perhaps with your fellow competitors for that sake. I'm sure they're willing to share some information to fight COVID together with you. So if you wish to get in touch personally with me, maybe you can request through the organizers. Then I could always give some input to your request and help your workplace to be a better place. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Baby. Okay, we have another question. There's no name mentioned here. Does Culture and IMAX have any contactless cleaning technology and machinery that can help during these pandemic times? Okay, I think I ask Culture to Mr. Ismail to answer because he has not been answering the question until now.
Yeah, Nick, I was having a rest. Yeah, so thank you for that cleaning question. So actually, all the machines at Culture, when you're talking about whether it be our steam cleaners, our scrubbers, our sweepers, they are only operated by one person, and that would be the operator, the cleaner. So if you think about Culture steam cleaners, our SG44, we have also got documentation that it kills 99.9% of all bacteria, including coronaviruses. And it's also green because with the Culture steam cleaners, they do not use any chemical, just water and steam. For our sweepers and scrubbers, they're operated by one person. So you can view all our machines as contactless because there's only one person using them at any one time. Nick.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gaj. Okay, Mr. Danny, what have you got to say?
We IMAC as a disinfectant detergents manufacturer. In fact, during this pandemic time, we have come out all this disinfectant to be sprayed using what we call the atomizing sprayer, mist spray, which is it can be fixed onto the machines or by humans to spray on it, which is more to contactless. So in order to kill 99.99% on all these coronavirus and as well as those bacteria. So this is what we contribute to the society. This is what we have been doing until now. We call it the atomizing mist spray.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we are having more question now. Again, from Sonan Kudus. Is there any incentive or plan to make green chemical and machinery price competitive with conventional? So I think who's the right person to answer this on Okay, what do you think, Mr. Babi?
Well, I have my fellow colleagues here, Ismail and Danny, and I believe they would definitely agree with my comment, which is if sometimes green technology, not sometimes, green technology takes a lot of investment, especially in R&D compared to conventional methods. So we part of this entire community sometimes should take the extra mileage, the extra mile to invest into the technology that we require in order to achieve our objectives and acceptance level. So if we're going to compare an apple, we should compare with an apple. We should never compare an apple with perhaps chiku or maybe a banana. So I think that's my take on that.
Okay. I think on this issue, you should be in authority because you represent like a government, not government, authority standards. Because I think the incentive, the plan must come from the authorities. Then only the industry players will use it. Okay, the next question, Mr. Garnison. IoT, machine cleaning, learning, and AI, FM acceptance level in Malaysian building. Are we ready? Okay, FM acceptance. Okay, Mr. Pavi, to you again.
I think we are getting there. We are learning. We are in evolving industry community. It will take some time. The business owners, asset owners need to understand the benefit of AI or the industry 4.0 technology that you're talking about, and take the initiative to invest into this. So it's not going to happen overnight, but it's definitely going to happen in the next within the next 5 years, I believe.
Okay, thank you. We have to be fast now. We are coming to the end, but I think there's so many questions now. The next one coming is Hazli Ilmi. We really appreciate with those technologies implemented in the chemicals and machine. It's really helpful for the cleaning contractors. However, they will be increasing in price. How can we do to educate our clients? I think I'm sure both Culture and MX have various mission to convince the building owners or building managers on the use of green technology. Can you share with us what you have done so far? Mr. Denny or Mr. Ismail?
Yeah, so from Kacha, I mean, I understand the question from Enchik Hasli. He's concerned that there'll be an increase in price. And the initial investment, yes, when you buy a machine, if you think of a building at the moment, you think of KLAA or any shopping mall, how many cleaners are used to clean that shopping mall? If you took one scrubber, one sweeper, or any type of machine, you can reduce the number of cleaners. You can operate in a safe environment, maybe contactless, and use the machine to cover a larger area. So a job that might take 1 hour can now take 10 minutes. That would be my reply. I'm not sure if Danny's got anything to add.
Okay.
Yeah, I totally agree what you mentioned just now. As what we mentioned earlier, initial cost will be higher, but when it comes to long term, I strongly believe this will be more effective, have a better cost saving. And how we can, what IMEC is doing is we always educate, we always encourage. When we meet up a building owners, we always tell and present to them how important a green technology in long run to take care of your building. This is what IMEX have been doing all the while. So I hope that this will help us, all the MSCC members to have a better negotiation or educate that we can work together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Danny. Okay, Mr. Ismail, you have to get ready because so many questions coming for you.
Okay.
First is, can you share with us what are the best practices advised by culture in Germany in tackling the spread of any form of viruses?
Okay, so if this is what's happening in Europe and in Germany, I mean, COVID there is a lot worse than what it is in Malaysia at the moment, but we're seeing a huge increase in Malaysia, which we hope will calm down. But in Germany, I think what Catcher advises the clients, or what I know Catcher advises the clients, is to clean at regular intervals, use the correct machinery, the correct disinfectants. So Catcher, we also have our disinfectants that can defeat and destroy COVID and coronaviruses. But the most important is enforcement and also ensuring that we clean correctly. There's no shortcuts. And I think if we look at the standards, like I spoke earlier, MACC is helping, along with Catcher, IMEC, to actually raise the standards. So cleaners are actually trained to clean correctly, use the machines and chemicals correctly, and the application of these.
Okay, just hold on, Mr. Ismail. There's another question for you from Saiful Abdurrahman. Is there any machine produced by culture that can be used against virus, especially COVID-19, while doing the cleaning work?
Actually, we've got a host of different machines that can do this, but the main machine would be our steam cleaner. Catcher has various steam cleaners from our SE2, SE3, SE4, and for the professional use, our SG44. They don't use any chemicals, they use steam. And because the steam cleaner is not using any chemicals, it's environmentally friendly. Also, it kills 99% or 99.9% of all coronaviruses and bacteria. So as long as you use this regularly throughout the day, maybe morning, afternoon, and evening, this also will safeguard premises, whether it be a building facility, a shopping mall, even your home. You should really invest in a steam cleaner.
Okay, thank you. We have one question. Our Vice President MACC and GM, Deputy MD of Harta Maintenance, Mr. Tuan Haji Faizal Al-Rahim. The question is to Standard Malaysia, Mr. Pavi. Why the implementation of automation and green technology always expensive, even government not willing to spend to pay the contractors, but demanding high quality and less ringgit?
Thank you, Mr. Nick. I would like to ask a question to you specifically. Can I run away from that question? but I'll take it. I'll take it since it's coming from the audience, and I would like to give my opinion on an independent perspective, not on standards department or any government organization's perspective. So one of the basic thing that is lacking in the industry, especially on the client side, is knowledge. If the client knows what exactly that they want, they are able to specify clearly what do they want, they will prepare the right budget for it. So if you want a Mercedes-Benz, you have to prepare the budget for a Mercedes-Benz. We should not be expecting a Mercedes-Benz and prepare a budget for a Proton Saga. That's my answer for that. I hope it makes sense.
Okay, we go to the next question. Question from Sheraton Chia. Sheraton here from Jenny Express PLT. We are distributor of Relay Plus On, work on disinfectant in Malaysia. WHO guideline is always to clean first and disinfect after. Are there any government body or any effort done to collect data on list of proven and certified disinfectant for cleaning companies? I think all the three panelists can answer, I think, from the viewpoint of the standard and also from the point of view of the distributor of the chemicals and chemistry. We have a quick answer by Mr. Pavi first. Do you have anything to say about this?
The question is from Charleston.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I've no response to it, because as for cleaning guidelines, there are some local standards available. Sometimes if you're from Australia, you have your local standard that's designed in Australia. If you're in Malaysia, there is some local standards that's available for cleaning specification. But each specification goes to the purpose of a facility. If a facility is a factory, then the cleaning specification is built for that factory. If it's a workplace, a commercial building, or residential building, specification differs. So there's no fixed guideline, but there is something general that we could use for everyone.
Okay. Over to Mr. Danny. I think from my experience in Malaysia, we have from WHO guide, I think there is a list of disinfectants approved. But I think in Malaysia, we still have to refer to MHO. So instead of WHO, even if it is mentioned in WHO, but if there's no letter from MHO, then you cannot do. I don't know what's your opinion from Mr. Denny and Mr. Kacha. That Mr. Ismail.
Okay. For the guidelines or that from WHO, World Health Organizations, in fact, they have the list and with the brand and also with the ingredient. That means those disinfectant ingredients, which is example like benzonium chloride, all this, which can effectively kill the coronavirus. So as for Malaysia Health Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia KKM, they also give the guideline what is the ingredient and with what percentage of the ingredient it can very effectively to kill the these viruses. But our Ministry of Health, they don't provide the brand name, so they only give the ingredient guidelines.
Okay. Mr. Kacha, from your experience?
So basically, from Catcher's experience, all Catcher's detergents chemicals are fully imported from Germany. And as they're fully imported from Germany, we follow the strict European guidelines. So as you know, Europe is very, very strict on any ingredients that go in. So each of our chemicals come with a list of what's included in it. Is it safe for the environment? Is it environmentally safe? How much to use? And we follow the IMO standard. So when you have a Catcher chemical or detergent, you know exactly what you're getting, because Malaysia, as yet, there's some rules and there's not full rules. So we're neither here nor there. So yeah, we're going with the European rules at Catcher at the moment.
Okay, understood. Okay, there's another question from Mr. Muhammad Hidi Shafi'i. As far as I was concerned, that there is no standard of contract agreement as guidance for the cleaning industry. Therefore, who should lead this in terms of proceed towards revolution? I think I still want to refer Mr. Fabi because it's regarding the standard and guideline.
Okay. There is no specific standard or guideline for cleaning industry. However, in ISO 41001, there is a supplementary document, which is a guidance document that provides the appropriate guidance for facility management organizations to develop FM contracts and also how to source for FM services. So when we speak about FM services, cleaning is one of the FM services, and that particular document provides you the general guideline on how to develop your specification, what kind of plan that you can establish for the cleaning services that you wish to procure. So this is include how to develop a proper service level agreement, how to set the appropriate KPI, both for the contractors and the service providers. So I'd suggest you may want to refer to ISO 41012 document for that.
I think Mr. Ismail can give some comment on this. Please, Mr. Ismail.
Yeah, so I understand the question from the audience, Enchik Shafi, and the last part is, who should lead this in terms of proceeding, how we go forward to revolutionize the cleaning industry? And everyone always looks to the government, but sometimes the government in Malaysia are always preoccupied with other matters. So I think we all have to look at ourselves, whether we're a cleaning company, IMEC, or if we're Standards of Malaysia, or if we're CACHA. But the public also, if the public walk into somewhere that's dirty, raise your voice. Everyone has a voice, and that's how we can change things. I know MACC are really pushing for change, but we can only do it together as a company, as an individual, even schools, hospitals. I've been into a lot of places where the toilets, the restrooms, everyone goes to the toilet first, and they say, oh, this is the standard. But we don't have to accept that standard anymore. We need to speak out, have a voice, and say, we as Malaysians, we do not want this standard. We all go to other countries and we say, wow, the toilets are fantastic. Wow, look at the streets in Singapore, they're clean. Actually, Malaysia can be the best country in the world, and it will be, but we need to take pride in our country, and we need to lead, every one of us in Malaysia and Chiknik.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ismail. I think that's the end of the question from viewers. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for staying with us until the end of the webinar, and our panel of speakers who have invested their time with us to share their experiences. Ladies and gentlemen, before we end, let me leave you with this thought to ponder on. When the market is uncertain, we need to innovate, improve ourselves, share resources, industry peers, and look into technological advancement to sustain our business and the industry. We need to regroup, pull together, and work towards being the market leader in this industry and showcasing ourselves better to our target market, riding on Malaysia's popularity as one of the best nations in facing the pandemic. What better way to do this but to book your stands at CLEANExpo and FACIMEX? This business event will enable you to successfully choose, close sales, and generate leads to a relaxed face-to-face environment. Meet with existing customers to strengthen brand loyalty and create lasting business relationships with other vendors and industry professionals. For more information, please visit www.archidex.com.my to be at the forefront of your industry now. Okay. Are we? Yeah.
Yes, we are still here.